What's up, Lightkeeper? Today I'm going to teach you how to survive EDC Las Vegas 2023. I'm going to give you 3 general tips, then I'll go over the stages, and then I'm going to talk about transportation. And mixed in all of that, I'm going to give you a bunch of secrets that will help save you a lot of time. So if you're excited about EDC, let's jump right into it. Tip number 1 is EDC is a marathon. This is a very long festival that goes from like 6 p.m. to 5:30 in the morning. And if you're there all day, you're gonna be exhausted. So you wanna pace yourself. Drink lots of water. You definitely want a water bottle or a hydration pack because they'll have free water refill stations there. Please don't pregame too hard because you're not gonna survive towards the end of the night. I made that mistake many times before. And if you can, try and get some sleep. I know it can be difficult, especially if you're staying on the strip and going day clubbing, but you wanna stay well rested for this event. So if you're there, it's totally fine to take breaks, sit on the grass, ride a ride. There's a lot of different activities that you can do. Now that leads me to tip number 2, which is be open-minded about discovering new music and experiences. You could have a strict schedule of everyone that you want to see, but it will never go according to plan. You gotta walk to and from the stages. Someone might want to buy merch, someone might want to buy food. You might lose your entire group for some reason. It's happened before. But if you stay open-minded, things will just fall into place. And sometimes the best experiences and memories are the ones that were unexpected. That being said, explore the entire grounds. There's so many things other than music that you could do there. You know, there's people getting married there. They have karaoke, they have dive bars, and it being a carnival, they have all sorts of rides that you can ride. The Ferris wheel is probably the most popular because it gives you that aerial view. And sometimes the line can be long, so if you do need a break or you just want to switch it up, then definitely check out the Ferris wheel. But if you don't want to miss any sets, then maybe hit it earlier in the day. Now, tip number 3 is go to every single stage. EDC has so many different genres of EDM. My first year, I stayed at the Kinetic Field almost the entire weekend. But the more I started expanding my music taste, I found myself going there less and less. And who knows, you might stumble upon your favorite new artist at one of these random stages. Now let's go over the stages. Main stage is Kinetic Field. This is where all your big headliners will play. The stage is usually built off of owls, sacred temples, or some sort of spiritual awakening, and it's always a beautiful design. It's also a new stage every single year, so you definitely want to stop by for at least a set. Next we have Bass Pod, and this is where they play all the dubstep, bass, and drum and bass music. There's usually a main stage and then a bunch of pods that shoot fire all around. Bass heads are some of my favorite people because they're all just trying to get down. And if you spend some time here, you'll definitely meet some cool ass people. Next is Circuit Grounds, and this is kind of like the second main stage. This is probably my favorite stage because there's LED walls surrounding you from the front and all along the sides. A lot of the artists that have really cool visuals will be here, like KX5 or Excision. And a little pro tip, if there's a dubstep artist like Excision playing here, you want to be on the right side of the stage because that side is further away from Bass Pod, where all the bass heads are coming from, and the right side is closer to the house and trance stages. And for the most part, they hate dubstep. The next stage is Cosmic Meadow. This is probably the largest stage, and it's great because there's grass that you could sit on, and there's even bleachers. And these bleachers are a perfect place to watch the fireworks that happen every night. This is also a great time to rest and get a light show. Next up, we have Neon Garden, and this is where they play a bunch of deep house and techno. 2022 felt like a legit warehouse rave there, and usually it's an older crowd here, and there's a little more space than the other stages. New ravers usually don't like this type of music, and I hated it when I first started listening to it, but you'll come around to it. Next, we have Quantum Valley, and this is where they play trance. This one is also a bunch of older heads, and there's a lot of space. The design is really cool because it feels like some sort of spaceship that you're in. And trance music is so nostalgic to me. It just has that old school vibe and those old feels to it. So I always try and catch at least a couple sets here. And finally, we have the Wasteland stage. This is for people that like hardstyle. These are faster BPM songs with like that gonk, 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 gonk kick sound. I'll come here for a few minutes and maybe jump around for a bit. Hardstyle is not my favorite genre, but if it is yours, EDC has something for everyone. There's also some smaller stages like Stereo Bloom, Bionic Jungle, or the Corona Electric Beach, and you'll find sleepers here all the time. And finally, make sure you check out the art cars as well. These are really cool stages that are on cars, and you could actually go on top of them and dance with the DJs and hang out with them. There's often a lot of surprise guests that show up, and they'll usually release stuff on Twitter beforehand, so be vigilant if you want to catch one of those surprise sets on an art car. Now let's go over transportation. You want to give yourself about 2 hours to get to the venue because there's gonna be traffic. It doesn't matter if you Uber, shuttle, or drive and park, it's gonna take a while. Now, if you drive your own vehicle, you obviously need to have someone responsible driving everyone back home at the end of the night. It's usually me because I stopped drinking pretty early, but I prefer it because it gives me a lot more freedom. Now, when most people drive, they go down Las Vegas Boulevard, which has a ton of traffic. And every year I've just gone the back route, where you take the 15 all the way up and you exit off of Tropical. That's usually where the Ubers and rideshare drop off, but there is a back parking lot that not many people know about, and it saves a bunch of time. Now, EDC's website says there's gonna be no parking lot off the Tropical exit, but if I was going, I would check anyways because there's always a way to get back onto Las Vegas Boulevard. Another option is buying a Premier Parking Pass, which is totally worth it if you have a big group because you have your own private lot that's easy to get in and out of. Now, shuttling's another option. It's super convenient if you're staying on the strip because they have a bunch of different locations where they'll pick you up. And if you want to Uber as well, that's another option. It can get pricey, and at night, it can be a shit show. One year I left the festival and I couldn't even call an Uber because it was too jammed. And so I walked to the edge of the parking lot and waited there for probably like 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, I asked probably 5 people if I could ride with them back to the strip, and every single one rejected me. Then a group came up and they didn't have any room in their SUV, but they let me go in their trunk, and I just paid them like 50 bucks for the ride. After that, I decided I'm never doing Uber again. No matter which option you take, there's gonna be traffic, so just prepare ahead of time for it. That's all I have for this video. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And if you like this video, you're gonna love the next one.